Hey guys, welcome back to another Amped Authenticate update video. In recent months, our updates have been focused on new analytical tools for you to use. But today's update, we're going back to basics and taking a look at how we can improve the presentation of your evidence. To do this, we've integrated our very popular Annotate filter that you may have seen in Amped 5 and Amped Replay. By integrating annotations into Authenticate, you'll be able to mark up your bookmarks, add text, magnify, spotlight, or your areas of interest to improve the presentation of that evidence. So let's jump into Authenticate and I'll show you how the annotations work and how it will be presented in the report. Okay, so here we can see our project in Amped Authenticate. I've already done a lot of the analytical work, and you can see that I've done my overview, integrity analysis, global processing, and local tampering. And I've made a few bookmarks along the way. So what I'm going to show you now is how we can utilize the annotations to bring out this evidence in a different way. So first, on the visual inspection, when I was doing my visual inspection on this image, I noticed that there were some strange artifacts on the individual's forehead. And I can see that a little bit more clearly when I zoom into the image. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a zoomed area using the annotations to show this without having to zoom into the image. So to create annotations, we first need to make sure we're on the bookmark that we want to annotate. And then we go to the Annotate Bookmark option. Once I select that, you can see that we get all our familiar, or maybe unfamiliar for some of you, annotations that are available. Now, I won't be going through all of these during this video, but on our YouTube channel, there's a lot of resources about the annotations. And though some of the references may be on different programs, the annotations still remain the same on all of our software. So I'm going straight for the magnify first. And all I'm going to do is create a magnified area of our individual's forehead, which I think looks a little bit suspicious. So I've created my magnify square, and whatever this blue dot is looking at will be annotated. So I'm going to place this on his forehead, and then you can see when I selected my annotation, I get different options available to me. Each annotation will have their own settings. So here I'm going to keep the zoom method at nearest. You could change it to bicubic or any of the other interpolation methods, but I'll keep it at nearest. And I'm going to change the border type from transparent to shape only. I'm going to increase that border thickness. If I wanted to, I could point this to the area, but in this case, I'm just going to keep it shape only. So now I've added that area that I think is suspicious into my bookmark. And it just makes it quite obvious for anyone who's going to look at my report what I'm trying to get them to look at. So we can continue through our project here. One thing to note before I do move on, you'll see that there's this pencil now in this square. This shows that there's an annotation on there. If I wanted to view this without annotations, I could toggle the annotations off, and when I toggle them back on, we'll see that annotation again. Now I'm going to go to my local tampering analysis, and I'll show you how we can add some text to our bookmarks. So I'm going to the ELA MSE 70. I'm going to go select my annotations again. And this time I'm going to create a text box. So I'm going to select the text option and then create a text box down in the bottom left. Again, we get our annotation settings for this. And I'm just going to do a couple of things before I get started. First, I'm going to create a background color and have a border as well. And then in here, I may just put ELA MSc 70. And I can put that the ELA analysis suggests the subject's face could have been tampered with. So now I can have this shown on my bookmark. When someone comes to view why this is in my report, they can quickly see this is why it's in there. I'd also like to show you some of the macros that we can use with our text. I'm going to go back to our visual inspection bookmark, and I'm going to now add some text to this. So I go back to my annotations, go to text, and again I'm going to change the border color and the background color. So in here we have some macros that you can add, and you can see there's an add label to macros and add macro. And in here we have those macros available. So if you wanted to add the make and model of the camera and the create date from the EXIF data, then I can use these macros to do that. And this is just going to pull that information from our EXIF data, which you can see here. As I've already mentioned, there's lots of different annotations available to you. So we've got shape, arrow, pencil, image, hide, and spotlight that we didn't look at yet. One thing I'd like to show you in the video is that we can have this text off the image. So if I wanted to, I could place this below the image, so I'm not covering up any of the image. If I do that, you can see that the canvas of that image has been extended. And under the options, I can choose whether to extend the canvas or not. By default, it's on. And then I can choose the color I'd want to extend that. So I could have a black border there, and this way I'm not covering up any of the image if that was important. Okay, so let's take a look at how these annotated bookmarks appear in our report. So I'm going to go to Tools, Generate Report. Okay, so now we can take a look at how these look in our report. We'll be able to go straight down to this first bookmark, and we can see that that annotation has been added. If I keep going through, we will find the second one that we did as well. One final thing I'd like to bring your attention to, then if you look at the highlighted area in my report, you can see that we've added the annotations to our report. So here you can see all the information about what annotations we did to this bookmark to ensure that it's reported correctly. Okay guys, so that's all we're going to focus on in today's update video. I hope you found it useful, and as I mentioned earlier, there is a lot of resources about annotations out there, so do have a look and get that advice if you need it. Until next time, take care.